Dallas and I are here to announce our next big move, biggest move we've ever made for Revival Today. Behind me is a building that will look nothing like it looks right now when we finish. We're on just under 5 acres of property that we've just finished purchasing, which is going to give us the ability to have a state-of-the-art studio. And in that studio, something I've wanted to have for a long time, which is a live studio audience. It's going to be a 500-seat building when we finish with it that'll give us the ability to touch the world with our broadcasts. This facility is going to give me the ability to do what I've really missed, which is having you in the audience to minister to personally. Obviously, you can't beat the reach of digital media. We touch the whole world every day. But we have the ability now with this to lay hands on people, pray for people that are sick, a place where you can bring people that are drug addicted, demonized, and really give them the ministry that you can't get on YouTube and Facebook. I can't wait. And then beyond that, we're going to announce the launch of Revival Today Church. We're going to hold Holy Ghost church services every Sunday morning. I'll be there most Sunday mornings. This isn't going to be like some little side project. We're going to give you and your family a place you can go that's a soul-winning church that values the presence of God, where you can get prayed for and ministered to, where there's not a critical race theory lecture or a masks and social distancing 10 minutes of no talking to anybody in the lobby. None of that. We're going to have a place where you're free and where you're free to experience the presence of God.
I'm incredibly excited because I know a lot of you have been asking about different meetings and events that we couldn't have during COVID, and trust me, we tried so hard. So this really frees us up to do everything that we want to do with healing meetings and women's conferences. So I am so looking forward to seeing you and having you be a part of this.
So I want to give you a twofold call to action. Number one, if your church turned in to a liberal nightmare in 2020 and you need a place to go, I would be happy to have you at our church. Number two, if you are a partner or a friend of our ministry, Revival Today, this is the biggest move by far we've ever made. By the time we finish remodeling that building, the acquiring of the property, you're looking at a couple of M's. So if you would stand with us now, I'll say thank you ahead of time. Pray and ask the Holy Ghost what He would have you to do. You've been so generous, and I thank you ahead of time for your extreme generosity. I know I speak on behalf of my wife, everybody here at Revival Today when I say we love you very much. And now I can say I look forward to seeing you face to face here at the new home of Revival Today.
Hey.
Are on the broad road that leads to destruction. And tonight, I would say with Moses, I would say with Joshua, turn, repent, choose God, serve Him, live for Him. That is the message of God tonight to this great audience of people at Yankee Stadium.
I see revival coming to planet Earth. Maybe as never before. It would be untold numbers, an untold, uncounted multitudes that will be saved. The dead will be raised. The arthritic will be healed. Cancer will be healed. No disease would be able to stand before God's people, and that it would be a worldwide situation.
There's a church that doesn't just know about God, they know God. They don't just believe in His power, they carry His power. God will shake the United States of America one last time, not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit.
Fly me to the moon.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. Good morning, Jan, Just, Speedy from Rockwall, Andrew, Gorgeous Wales, Angela, Mark, Ninja Buddha's here. Awesome. It's going to be a good day. Going to make some money. Let's see where the futures are at. It looks like everything's positive right now. So let's see if we can have another day like we did yesterday, which was a great day for my portfolio after the beating it took last week, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome.
Samuel, good morning. Snooks, good morning. JD, good morning. Share the broadcast with everybody that you know. See how many people we can get angry today. And all right. What is going on with crypto?
What is happening?
Everything's way down.
I don't know if you can see this. Actually, I'll probably. There was, at one point, there was probably 3 times that. It's down 8.4.
Let's see where we're at here today. Ooh, we're less than 30,000 on Bitcoin. Ethereum's down to 1772. Man. XRP 53. Doge 17. This is what happened to Doge. Let's see that video. Let's see it again.
I see it again. I missed it.
That's what's been happening to crypto the past couple of days. Bitcoin way down.
What is happening?
It's the news from China.
Of the crypto mining?
Yeah, I think that's,
Come on, how is that affecting all of these other cryptocurrencies? Because if Bitcoin goes down, everything else goes down?
Yeah, they just sell. Everybody's taking profits. Because if they bought a while back, they're still up, but maybe a lot of people are taking losses. So
XRP is down to what?
17 cents. No, 53. My goodness. Doge
I was going to say, I'm like 70.
Like, man, buy.
Oh,
It's down to 53. And I didn't think we would ever see those levels again.
Doug, what's happening?
But here we are.
He's on vacation at the Cape.
He is.
Or I would.
I think we're going to do another Crypto Friday next week.
Should.
And the markets are open. Let's see what's going on here. Markets, indexes. Looks like everything is positive right now.
Okay.
Just kidding.
No.
Slightly negative.
Slightly.
More flat than anything, so not too bad. All right, let's see the first article. Chinese Bitcoin mining company delivers first machines to Kazakhstan. Bitmining expects to deliver another 2 batches of machines by the start of July. Kazakhstan has a ton of uranium.
Okay.
So I think it would be a good place for them to go. There's a lot of cheap nuclear power.
Where's Kazakhstan? Kazakhstan.
It's south of Russia.
Okay.
In like, what do they call that? The Caucasus or whatever? Azerbaijan, Armenia, that region.
Okay.
Uzbekistan, Tajikistan.
Uzbekistan. I remember
All the
T.L.
stands.
Osborne talking about it. Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
All right, let's read it.
Chinese Bitcoin mining firm Bit Mining delivered its first batch of 320 machines to Kazakhstan after its Sichuan operations were suspended. The publicly traded company BTCM expects to deliver another 2,600 machines before the start of July. It said in an announcement Monday. The firm's remaining machines will also be shipped overseas. The mining machines have already shipped and have a theoretical maximum hash rate capacity of 18.2, I want to say that's pentahash per second. The move to Kazakhstan came after Bit Mining received notice on June 19th that the power supply for its Sichuan data center would be suspended by the state energy regulator. Bit Mining data centers in Sichuan contributed around 3% of its total revenue in May. With China's recent crackdown on the crypto mining industry, companies are looking to migrate elsewhere. Along with Kazakhstan, Bit Mining also has invested $25 million in a new facility in Texas. Go Texas. Continue. Is that it? Next. Portugal begins approving cryptocurrency exchanges. 2 licensed so far.
What?
I thought this was interesting because they're going through regulators and like that whole process to be listed or licensed. Let's see the article. Portugal now has 2 approved cryptocurrency exchanges. The country's central bank, the Banco de Portugal, has licensed Mind the Coin and Cryptologia. In Portugal, the central bank is responsible for registering entities that intend to act as virtual asset service providers. The bank must also ensure that they are in compliance with the legal and regulatory provisions on the prevention of money laundering and terrorist financing. Mind the Coin supports Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Monero. Buy Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies at our terminals or P2P online, the company explained. Cryptologia, located in the heart of Lisbon, claims to be the first company 100% Portuguese to provide the service for the purchase and sale of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
So what's the point of that? So they basically have control over the cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, the central bank
regulate it? So that's how they're regulating it?
They're regulating it.
So, gotcha. So that's how they're doing it. The first company.
So they'll be in compliance with basically all the legal and regulatory provisions that banks have to be in compliance with.
It's pretty cool.
So they have to work on prevention of money laundering, terrorist financing, which means that if any of that happens on their platforms, they might get sued by the government.
I feel like this is the most well thought out one so far. So you have Guatemala. Was it Guatemala?
Salvador.
No, Uruguay.
Paraguay.
Yes. And El Salvador, they were like, we're gonna, and then all of a sudden it was like, we still love the U.S. dollar. It's still gonna be our.
Yeah.
It's like.
Once the IMF said you're not getting any more loans, they're like, well, we don't like Bitcoin that much, just a little bit. Continue. Entities that must be registered are those providing exchange services with or without involving fiat currencies. In addition, entities providing crypto transfer services and safekeeping and or administration of virtual assets or instruments that enable the control, ownership, storage, or transfer of such assets, including private encrypted keys, must also register with the central bank. So basically, if you live in Portugal, register with the central bank.
Doug is watching.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
Doug, what's going on?
So what's going on?
Why is XRP down to 53?
Doug, what's happening with crypto? Is the crypto market crashing?
Are we going to zero? Is it over?
Seriously, what happened to going to the moon? We're going to zero. We're going the opposite direction. Doug, help us. All right, continue.
I believe that's it. Next article. Ooh.
What is this?
Look at that diamond.
Who would need a diamond that big?
Well, Kim Kardashian probably.
No.
Sotheby's auctioning rare diamond worth $15 million. Cryptocurrencies accepted.
Say what?
So good news for all you holding cryptocurrencies out there. You can enter this auction on Sotheby's.com and bid on this diamond.
Jeez,
see the article.
That is big.
Sotheby's, the world's largest auction house, is auctioning a rare 101.38 carat flawless diamond, estimated to be worth $15 million, and cryptocurrencies are accepted. What if they find out that it's actually like a lab-produced one? Biggest auction house accepts cryptocurrency. Sotheby's announced Monday that it's auctioning a rare pear-shaped diamond on July 9th in Hong Kong that can be purchased with cryptocurrency. Established in 1744, Sotheby's described its... Okay, yes. And continue. The auction house explained that this is the first time a diamond of such size or any physical object of such high value is offered for public purchase with cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Ether, and traditional money will be accepted as payment. Oh, so they're also accepting Ethereum. Somebody reach out and see if they take Doge. This is a truly symbolic moment. The most ancient and emblematic denominator of value can now, for the first time, be purchased using humanity's newest universal currency. That's what they're going for. They want to be the first ones that have the old diamond gold can now be bought with cryptocurrencies. We're the first ones doing this. I see what they're doing. The name of the diamond is Key 10138. The auction house describes it as a 101.38 carat pear-shaped colorless flawless diamond. It's one of just 10 diamonds of more than 100 carats ever to come to auction. It carries a pre-sale estimate of 10 to 15 million. Sotheby's began accepting cryptocurrencies via Coinbase back in May with Banksy's Love is in the Air image at... Okay.
The price sold for $12.9 million, and I wonder if they paid with cryptocurrencies, we would have heard about it, right?
Yeah. Maybe I'll just bid with cryptocurrencies.
Seriously.
$10,000. All right.
Awesome.
Next.
Oh, brother. Here we go.
Facebook's David Marcus, China's Bitcoin mining crackdown is great development for Bitcoin. Let's see what he has to say about this. David Marcus, head of Facebook Financial, who is in charge of cryptocurrency project Diem, formerly Libra, believes that the Chinese government cracking down on Bitcoin mining is a great development for the cryptocurrency. Many people in the crypto space agree with him. David Marcus, head of F2 Facebook Financial, has shared his view on the Chinese government cracking down on Bitcoin mining. F2 includes Facebook Pay Novi and all payments and financial services efforts by the social media giant. Marcus is also a co-creator and board member of the crypto project Diem, formerly Libra. He tweeted Monday, how is more Bitcoin mining power moving to the United States and the West a bad thing? IMO, China cracking down, in my opinion. Right?
Yep.
In my opinion, China cracking down on mining is a great development for Bitcoin. Continue. Many people agree with Marcus, sharing their opinions on Twitter. Several of them agree that the move may seem bearish in the short term, but is good for Bitcoin in the long run. The CEO of cryptocurrency exchange Luno, Marcus Swanepoel, commented, familiar pattern for anything Bitcoin. 1 potential issue identified. 2 solutions created. 3 risk mitigation, incorrectly interpreted as increase in risk. 4 eventually penny drops.
I didn't understand that last part at all.
So there's an issue identified. Potential issue. Okay, so the Chinese have too much mining power. Solutions created. Chinese ban mining. 3. Oh, so the risk was incorrectly interpreted as an increase in risk because the Chinese are cracking down on crypto, but it's actually good because everything's going to move to the US and El Salvador and then to the moon. That's what that means.
Then to the moon.
Man. Continue.
Doug said, I'm on vacation. I haven't been paying attention really. Where's we at?
Not yet. Actually, quite the opposite.
Wow.
If you're invested in crypto, it's quite the opposite at this point.
Buy the dip, they say.
Sharan Nair, Chief Business Officer of Indian crypto exchange CoinSwitch Kuber, opined. I totally love it how every supposed move to bring down Bitcoin actually works in its favor. Perhaps what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Cue the song.
Yeah.
Never been truer. Following the Chinese government shutting down Bitcoin mining farms, miners are reportedly moving their operations out of China. Castle Island Ventures partner Nick Carter was quoted by CNBC as saying, Chinese miners or miners that were domiciled in China are looking to Central Asia, Eastern Europe, and the US and Northern Europe. Every Western mining host I know has had their phones ringing off the hook.
Interesting.
So invest in some of those miners. I believe we went through them a while back. And I can look them up again. It's on my other one. But I'll look them up again and I'll let you guys know what the miners are. And let's see the next article. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. All right. So we've been talking about Lordstown Motors for a long time. You initially, how did we bring this up initially? Like it was like a potential something good to invest in, correct?
Yes.
But it was a high risk.
It was high risk. I don't think I ever said Lordstown Motors.
No, you don't. It was just a topic of conversation.
It was.
Okay. But
Lordstown has been coming up. It's been in the comments. You know, everybody's looking at these Rivian, Lordstown, all these new
electric cars,
electric vehicle
vehicles,
manufacturers.
Yes.
And then Lordstown said that they might not have enough money to put the vehicle into production, and that's when it started.
Right.
And now all of these things are coming out.
Well, initially, we've been covering the story for a while. Every single time a new article comes up, we cover it. So
yes.
They tell them about the CEO basically saying like they had a bunch of orders fulfilled, but they weren't actual orders.
Yeah, they were pretty much orders, but they weren't, is what the CEO said.
Right. So that was
whatever that
the first
means.
indicator to me that this guy is a freaking slime ball.
Yes.
Because he had told who was it that he basically told that there was a whole bunch of units that were already being sold, but they were pretty much shareholders,
Yes.
that they were pretty much sold.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, what does pretty much sold mean? And so now we know it means they weren't sold at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we find out. Let's read the article.
He's abandoning ship. What a loser.
If you really care about your company, you would buy more shares and not sell your shares.
Well,
The only way that I could see this happening, and this is Lordstown, Ohio, or it's like in Ohio, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. I might be wrong. He might live in Cleveland or Columbus or wherever, where they have $4 million homes or whatever. But I don't think anywhere in that region they do. So unless you're selling your stock to buy yourself a home, you shouldn't be doing these things. Let's see the article.
The idea also is that you really do have to, if you're going to invest in a company, you really do have to know so much about the company. You have to do your research. You have to do your due diligence to know who the CEO is, what a dink what kind of a leader he is, what kind of a loser he is, because this will put money right back into your pocket if you're very careful. So go ahead.
Several top executives at Lordstown Motors Corp. sold off chunks of stock in the electric truck startup ahead of reporting financial results, according to regulatory filings disclosing the transactions. Securities lawyers and accountants say such trades raise questions about the company's internal controls, especially in light of its recent troubles. In all, 5 top executives, including the company's president and former chief financial officer, sold more than $8 million in stock over 3 days in early February. Lordstown Motors, which went public in October and plans to build electric trucks at a former GM plant in Ohio, reported year-end results for the first time as a listed company in mid-March. Its net loss of 23 cents a share for the quarter was more than double analysts' expectations, according to FactSet. Continue. The 2-year-old startup has yet to begin production on its first model, a battery-powered pickup called the Endurance that is aimed at commercial buyers such as businesses and fleet operators. One of its executives, Chuan John Vo, who oversees Lordstown Motors' propulsion division, sold almost all his vested equity, 99.3%, on February 2nd, leaving him with 717 shares and proceeds of more than $2.5 million, the filings show. So equity is like the most important thing. If I got hired by one of these companies, the salary package would come second to how much equity are you going to give me if I'm going to be an executive in one of these companies. If you don't believe in the company you work for, this is what you do.
Right. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So they know that they don't have a good product.
Oh,
they know that they might not have a product at
Or
all.
they just can't compete. Yeah.
President Rich Schmidt, a former Tesla Inc. manufacturing executive who joined the company in 2019, sold 39% of his vested equity over 2 days in February for $4.6 million, according to company filings. He used some of the proceeds to expand another venture that he started recently, a turkey hunting farm in Tennessee,
I mean,
which is going to make him way more money than...
literally can't even make it up. Can't even make it up. Turkey
Continue.
hunting farm, huh? Electric vehicles, turkey hunting farm.
3 other executives, including Lordstown Motor former finance chief who resigned last week, sold smaller holdings around the same time in February, with the transactions ranging roughly between $250,000 and $400,000 in value. 4 of the 5 executives declined to comment through a Lordstown Motor spokesman.
Of course they did.
The company also declined to comment on its financial oversight of executives. The 5th, former chief financial officer Julio Rodriguez, couldn't be reached for comment. On June 14th, the company said a special committees formed by Lordstown Motors board had looked into the executive stock sales and concluded they were made for reasons unrelated to the performance of the company. Okay. So it's always interesting to see things like this come up. When there's a lot of insider trading and executives are selling their shares, be wary. They should be buying. They would want to own more of their own company if they know it's going to be successful, because what are you going to do with that money in the short term when if you know this is going to be a multiple billion-dollar company and that this could potentially make you a billionaire.
How is it that they're not getting in trouble for this kind of stuff? Insider trading is insider trading. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all sus.
Yeah, it is very suspect. Securities lawyers, accountants, and analysts say such transactions are highly unusual, particularly because they occurred during a period when many other publicly traded companies bar executives from selling shares.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the big banks will do that. A lot of other companies, there will be like a blackout period where you can't sell your shares because it's basically insider trading because you know
right.
what's going to happen in the annual report.
100%. These people are criminals. Hopefully nobody has stock in Lordstown Motors.
Yeah, it's been down
We
a
should
lot.
take a drive over to Lordstown Motors and give them a little piece.
I've
of our
driven
mind.
past that factory. It used to be the where they created the Chevy Cruze.
Okay.
I had a friend that lived out there in
Chevy
Youngstown,
Cruze is
Ohio.
so ugly. Yeah. Wow. All right. Next. Yeah, just ask Martha Stewart. U.S. chip foundry announces new manufacturing plant in Singapore. All right.
Andrew just said, look at FinViz. Under the insider trading, it shows you who's selling and buying. That's actually one of the tools I use for that. FinViz has a great stock screener where you can look up who's doing insider trading.
No way. That's fantastic. But how long is the, how long before it gets updated? Is it just like immediately?
They're
If it sells,
fairly
it's
quick, yeah.
24-hour
at updating it.
turnaround kind of thing?
It's updated every day. So if there's new filings with the SEC that come out, then they'll update it immediately.
Yeah. Martha Stewart went to jail for less, just saying. All right.
Yeah, that's true. U.S. chip foundry announces new manufacturing plant in Singapore. So we've been looking at this chip shortage that we've been having here in the U.S., actually globally. And I drive past car dealerships. Have you noticed that?
What?
There's no
No
cars
stock.
on the lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right here, just right on our street. There, that guy always has trucks and.
Yeah, there's one car there I saw this morning.
I know the red one.
Yeah.
The old, the classic car.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they're out of stock. It's so bizarre.
Let's see the article. U.S. headquartered semiconductor manufacturer Global Foundries announced Tuesday that it'll build a new fabrication plant in Singapore to meet the unprecedented global demand for chips. Why not the U.S.? The new facility will be developed in partnership with the Singapore Economic Development Board and co-investments from committed customers. GlobalFoundries said. More than $4 billion will be invested into the development. Our new facility in Singapore will support fast-growing end markets in the automotive, 5G mobility, and secure device segments with long-term customer agreements. They should have thought about this a while back and started building, because now they're building these factories, and who knows, by the time all these factories are done, it'll be over. The chip shortage will be over.
No joke. I don't know, though.
No, because there's going to be a demand for them, because vehicles are getting connected, everything, smart
Everything's
homes,
getting-
everything's
yeah.
getting connected.
Yeah. I was reading an article about like this company in Japan, and he went, I think it's in Bloomberg, and he basically became a billionaire overnight because of his idea of basically setting up towns, just starting like really locally, that are all like digital.
Connected.
Just all connected homes. So, and I mean, that's just basically the future at this point. So they'll connect anything. They'll connect a dog, cat. It's crazy. All right, continue.
A virtual groundbreaking. Oh man, that's awesome. Virtual groundbreaking ceremony for the plant. So if you look it up, maybe globalfoundries.com, you can be a part of this virtual groundbreaking ceremony.
Amen.
Was attended by Singapore's Transport Minister S. Iswaran, as well as Mubadala Investment Company, Managing Director and CEO Khaldoon Khalifa Al Mubarak, among others. Mubadala, a United Emirates state investment company, owns GlobalFoundries. That's interesting. The semiconductor industry is a key pillar of Singapore's manufacturing sector, and GlobalFoundries' new fab investment is testament to Singapore's attractiveness. All right, let's see the next article. Look at this. It's not just American Airlines.
We called it.
We
I
did.
said, who's next? It's not going to be South.
Look it up yesterday. She said Delta.
We did. Because Delta sucks. Delta
I like
literally
Delta.
sucks. I like Delta
Personally,
for
Delta is
international.
my favorite U.S. airline.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? Delta is what did they say?
Nick likes Delta too.
I hate Delta.
Delta
has the worst.
I have never been
service.
delayed with Delta. I have never lost luggage
I'm
with
always
Delta.
delayed, well, especially Delta to Hawaii.
Delta has never made a mistake in my eyes.
That's such hogwash.
They're the only U.S. airline that I've never been delayed on and has never lost my luggage.
That is.
American Airlines has lost my luggage. Southwest has lost my. Well, you know what? That's not true. Spirit never lost my luggage either.
Just because you paid a seat for you paid for it. But Delta, I find Delta has like some of the worst, rep that there is, like customer representation that there is. Literally the worst. It's hard to navigate on their website. It's hard to, get points to apply to a thing. I had the Delta card for a while. Couldn't use it because all of the flights were trash.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to go to Florida, but you're gonna have to stop in Chicago, and then head to Florida. It's like this is the worst, just the absolute worst. So this comes to as no shock to me. Delta.
All right, let's see the article. Delta Airlines plans to hire more than 1,000 pilots by next summer, according to multiple reports Monday, citing an
that many
internal
pilots,
memory.
though?
Here's what happened, and this is what they're not telling you. I saw this in another article. I don't know if I put it in there with American Airlines, but what happened is they furloughed a bunch of pilots, and so these pilots, because the pilots were already like
During
at a
the
retiring
during COVID?
age. Yes,
Okay.
so they were already at a retiring age.
So they
So a
furloughed.
lot of them just retired.
Okay. So they're coming back.
So now they have to train new pilots. American Airlines is trying to hire also 1,000 pilots. Where are they going to find all these pilots? So they have to train, new pilots.
That's kind of scary because I don't want a new pilot. I want a seasoned pilot.
Yes. The seasoned pilots have retired. They are all now flying private jets.
Good to know. RV cometh. But seriously, how do you just hire 1,000 new pilots? I mean,
You can't, because you have to train them, and then you have to train them on a specific aircraft type.
right.
And then people
And
that
then you have
that
to have a
used to,
certain like how many hundreds of hours that you need to do in
and
order to.
they have to take the seasoned pilots and put them on like the 767s and the 777s, which are larger aircraft, and train them up on those. So everybody's training at this point.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
That's nice and comforting.
Let's see the article.
Go!
Delta Airlines plans to hire more than 1,000 pilots, citing an internal memo. Looks to increase its number of pilots by about 8%, anticipating a recovery in air travel over the next year. The Atlanta-based airline has said it expects domestic leisure travel to return to pre-pandemic levels this month, and it expects a pre-tax profit for the second half of the year as the industry recovers. Glad I'm invested in Delta. Airlines are still figuring out how to adjust to travel as the pandemic eases, at least in the U.S. On Sunday, American Airlines is cutting about 950 flights over the next month in order to avoid straining its operations. Delta shares are up about 14% year-to-date and 56% over the past year, compared to the S&P's 12-year... Okay. Next. Ray Dalio says Fed can't tighten without having big negative effects. So this guy is a big-time hedge fund billionaire. I want to say Renaissance Technologies. I think that's what it's called, Renaissance. Let's see the article. Bridgewater. Sorry. Ray Dalio, billionaire investor and founder of Bridgewater, the world's largest hedge fund, took note Monday at the topsy-turvy reaction across financial markets. Last week, the Federal Reserve signaled that it could begin lifting rates sooner than investors had expected, and that policymakers had started to discuss the eventual slowdown of its monthly asset purchases. Continue. The yield curve flattened violently, with short and medium-dated yields rising sharply last week as long-term yields fell. The dollar soared and equities ultimately slid. Though growth-oriented shares outperformed. On Monday, many of those moves were partially reversing, with the Dow Jones Industrial. We saw how that all went up yesterday. Dalio, speaking in a conversation with economist and former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers at the Qatar Economic Forum, warned that it'll be difficult to avoid an overheating of monetary inflation due to a flood of bond issuance. With U.S. deficits set to rise because of the $6 trillion budget they're trying to pass. I don't understand how these people don't, understand.
I know.
How do you not have a basic knowledge of economics?
It's tough. It's tough to see it happen.
What did you do in school when? I mean, they're all lawyers, so they all went to college, so they must have all taken some sort of economics class, or even business law, which is required. How do you not understand? With U.S. deficits set to rise, the country will have to sell a lot of bonds to investors who hold bond inventories despite carrying very low interest rates and negative real or inflation-adjusted inflation rates, Dalio said. This comes at the same time that Chinese capital markets and other capital markets are becoming more attractive to global investors. So what he's saying is that the Fed can't stop buying U.S. bonds because nobody else is going to buy them because investors are looking elsewhere for yield. So could we have a potential problem? Maybe. So don't pass the $6 trillion.
No.
What do we need that for?
We don't need that.
Fix some bridges, fix some roads. We don't need all of these other things that they're trying to put in there.
Right. And there's the other things are, climate change and, critical race theory and all these other very
How does
they're
alcohol
doing
affect bugs and you're getting a $3 million grant for that? Who cares?
100%.
What does it matter?
Doesn't matter. But it is strange because you start wondering, okay, so if this doesn't add up, how is it that they're rationalizing $6 trillion deficit? So it's okay, so then you're imploding our economy on purpose, making China stronger. Yes or no?
Yes, for sure. They've been making China
angry.
strong for a long time.
Yeah, China's really a standout here recently.
They're looking more attractive to investors.
It's going.
Next. Whatever their CEOs say, banks are wary about the office. The cost of office mortgages, traditionally one of the safer corners of commercial real estate, lending is increasing. See the article. Some bank chiefs, like JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon, talks as if the office will soon look more or less as it did before. Their real estate lending teams seem less sure. Banks on both sides of the Atlantic are becoming more selective about which offices they will lend against. pockets of the market have been resilient during the pandemic. The rate banks charge for mortgages on the best central London offices was 1.65% in the first quarter, more or less where it was before the crisis. Data from real estate company. The U.S. the value of new office loans issued by banks in the first quarter of this year was just 35% of levels in the same period of 2019, according to TRAP data. A sharper pullback than for unloved retail assets such as malls. The spread between office mortgage rates and 10-year treasuries has also widened. So basically nobody's buying new offices. So they're going to start looking at whether or not they're going to give them favorable interest rates or not.
Wow.
Next article. I thought this was interesting. Renters could collect home down payment points with credit card.
Wow.
A real estate startup is proposing that card holders could convert points into cash to purchase a property. See the article. A new credit card concept would allow cardholders to pay and build credit on their largest monthly expense, rent. Build Technology, a real estate startup, is joining with Evolve Bank and Trust and MasterCard to launch a credit card designed for renters. Users can accumulate rewards points through rent and other spending with no fees charged to the tenant or the landlord when paying rent on the card. Rewards points can then be put towards rent and other purchases, even toward a down payment on a house. We believe paying rent should build your credit score because it's your single largest liability, said Ankur Jain, founder of Built. Many landlords already accept credit cards, but they typically pass on processing fees to renters, often totaling about 3%. For landlords that don't accept plastic, Built says it will mail landlords paper checks on behalf of the tenant, then charge the renter's credit card account with no fee. Isn't that
That's
interesting?
Yeah.
So this is a way for people to be able to save up their points, and instead of using it to, take vacation, they can use it to put a down payment on a house. I wonder how long that would take, though.
Oh, that's funny.
Continue. The partnership can afford to offer no-fee rent payments because of the fees that Evolve and MasterCard will collect from all other types of spending on the card. The card program also attempts to incentivize non-rent spending by increasing the rewards for rent when cardholders spend more on everything else. MasterCard declined to elaborate further on how it will profit from the card without fees on rent payments. So I thought that was very interesting. A couple of real estate things that we're talking about today. Let's see the next article. JP Morgan Investments Mortgage Clearinghouse. Basically, what we're looking at here is they are going to invest in this mortgage clearinghouse, something that they haven't invested in since before the 2008 crisis. So the housing market is heating up to the point where it was in 2008.
I just said that.
It's
coming down.
It was when I read this article, I was like, I don't know. Let's see the article. JP Morgan is redoubling efforts to revive a type of mortgage that largely died out after the last financial crisis. Yes, that's a great idea. The bank is reinvesting in an electronic clearinghouse for private label mortgages, which are packaged and sold to investors without a guarantee from a government-backed firm like Fannie Mae. The market has been growing during this year's hot housing market. The investment bank has contributed additional venture capital to funding to MaxX LLC, a growing digital exchange for residential mortgages, executives at both companies said. The terms of the deals weren't disclosed. MaxX connects sellers and buyers of the home loans, providing standardized documentation so they can easily be purchased by financial firms. Those firms invest in the loans or bundle them into mortgage-backed bonds or securities they sell to others. This sounds familiar. So we'll see what happens.
What do they care?
Yeah, they don't.
They'll get the bailout.
They'll get the bailout. Taxpayers will bail them back out, and everything.
Homeowners will be screwed.
Exactly. Next.
Somebody asks, do you think this is a way to incentivize renting so people don't own?
Could be.
We've been talking about that for a while.
Because it'll take you a while to
BlackRock and
get
that kind of
points.
stuff.
Unless you're spending major dollars on that card, major additional dollars. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll take you a while to get enough points to where, what's a down payment? I'd say 20, 30,000.
Yeah, and then
Easy.
it's just, most people don't think long term anyways. So
Yeah.
they know that. They know that it's just like one less problem that they have to deal with. So it's just like a an ease kind of thing, but it's
Yeah.
just not. Nobody's thinking long term to buy.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the millennials is like they're not thinking of ownership. I mean, we talked about it like real estate
Yeah.
ownership and that.
They
kind of
want to be able to be free.
right.
And so what they want to do is they want to rent. That way, if there's an opportunity in wherever, they can just
Singapore,
up
they
and
can just
leave.
up and
Yep.
leave and not have any strings attached.
Nope, nothing.
But they really don't
even-
understand that they're blowing the legs out of the middle class.
Yes.
By removing or eliminating any kind of, even the Great Reset says nobody's going to own any land,
Yeah.
and you're going to be okay with it. And it's like, yeah, already we were seeing that.
Yeah.
Millennials
No,
are
I won't
okay
be
with just
okay with it.
renting. Yeah. Now I'll buy up as much land as I possibly can.
Speaking of what we were just speaking about,
Mm-hmm.
Blackstone to buy Home Partners of America in $6 billion deal. See the article? Private equity firm Blackstone Group has agreed to acquire Home Partners of America, which buys and rents single-family homes, in a $6 billion deal.
That's wild.
The Wall Street Journal reported on Tuesday, citing sources familiar with the matter. The deal comes on the heels of a pandemic-fueled demand for spacious homes in the United States as millions of Americans work from home and take classes remotely. Home Partners owns more than 17,000 houses in the United States. According to the report, it buys, rents out, and eventually offers its tenants a chance to buy them. Will Blackstone do the same? We'll see. Blackstone is a publicly traded company, so you can own the company that owns the houses.
Blackstone has affiliates with Soros or has
No,
affiliation?
Blackstone is just, it's like Vanguard, like a private equity fund that has all sorts of ETFs and mutual funds and things that you can buy in as a personal investor. It has all sorts of ties to everybody
Yeah.
because it's one of the largest in the United States.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Is crypto falling even more? I just got an alert here. A little bit more. 29, almost to 29,000
nice.
even at this point.
XRP is almost at 40-cent range now at 52. Thinking it's buy time sometime today.
Buy XRP. Let's go over the lows, the highs, and the mediums. Low, Fundrise. Speaking of real estate, I wanted to do a little bit real estate heavy today. So Fundrise is a real estate investment company. You can invest a minimum of $1,000 and start earning returns ranging from 6 to 14% annually. So since all of these companies are buying up properties, you might as well make some money. Even if you personally can't invest, hundreds of thousands of dollars in buying up, duplexes and quadplexes and whatnot, you can invest in this company that does it, and you get about 6 to 14% annually. Now, Fundrise, you have to go to their website and open up an account with them. It is more difficult to get your money out, so you're basically investing in real estate, and it's not like that liquid.
So it's sitting there for a while.
It's basically a pool of investors' money that buys apartment complexes and new construction and then gives you the returns. But 6 to 14% annually is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a real estate investment trust, but it's not publicly traded. And usually companies like these are only open to accredited investors with over $1 million in capital.
Wow, that's really interesting.
So this
If
is
you got
more
$1,000
for
bucks kicking around.
So if you have $1,000 kicking around, and then there's incentives as you go up. There's $1,000 is a certain account, and then $5,000 you get like better, 10,000 even better, 50,000 even better, and then 100,000 is their highest, and then you get like all the perks and best returns.
All right.
Fundrise, Fundrise, Fundrise. But you have to go to their website. You can't trade them on any platform. Medium, VNQ, Vanguard Real Estate Index Fund. The investment seeks to provide a high level of income and moderate long-term capital appreciation by tracking the performance of the MSCI US Investable Market Real Estate 2550 Index. Did everybody get that?
Gesundheit.
That measures the performance of publicly traded equity real estate investment trusts. It has a moderate risk level, 34% growth in the last 12 months. That level is unsustainable. The fund might be considered a little expensive, so those are some of the risks. It has a dividend slightly above 3%. and returns since inception of the fund have been around 9%. It is considered above average in terms of risk. So if that's something that you are interested in, you can do that. I am not invested in VNQ. High risk to research for today. RIG, R-I-G, Transocean Limited. Energy and Equipment Services leases its offshore drill rigs to various energy companies, has all sorts of drilling rigs, even ultra-deep water drill ships. It conducts contract drilling operations throughout the world, based in Switzerland, has a large amount of debt and could have problems servicing it. It has some short interest and has been talked about on Wall Street bets. This company is trading around $4 a share. What's it trading at right now? RIG. Take a quick look here. $4.18. It has a 0.21 x of book value. There's been a large number of insider activity. This is what I like to see. $64.8 million in stock bought by insiders.
Wow. Okay.
In the last 3 months. On June 18th, one of the directors of the company bought 5 million shares.
Wow.
So these guys believe in their company.
That's it.
That's what I see. So
There's the difference.
I'm liking that. I'm going to research this company more as maybe even a long term, but it is fairly high risk because of the short interest and because they're talking about it on Wall Street bets. So who knows? We could see a short squeeze on this one at some point. To the moon.
To the moon, flying. Wait a minute.
See what happens there. Look at that. You guys are already buying. It's already going up. So good job.
Can you scroll up? There's been a couple of questions that we're going to take some time and answer. So John Castellano writes, is DoorDash worth anything, or you think it's going to die because America is open again?
I think DoorDash is going to be around, but I don't know if it's going to be... Those companies have never been that profitable. Uber, DoorDash. So I've stayed away from those companies from the very beginning. But I haven't looked that much into them. I just know that they're not profitable, and I don't know if they will be in the future.
Yeah. I thought about this for a while because DoorDash, I get DoorDash all the time, and I'm mad. I just don't want to go anywhere. Especially after, even though everything's back open up again, it's like the convenience is pretty amazing. But That being said, they were going to charge me $25 for delivery, which is nothing to sneeze at. $25, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like pretty dumb when it's a restaurant really literally down the street. It's like, your food is delayed. So I definitely noticed that those delivery prices
they're going up.
They're definitely going up. So I'm not quite sure what they're
$30-something for a
compensating for,
French
but-
onion soup from Panera.
Seriously.
Like, are you kidding
I've done that.
me?
Guilty.
But I did not want to leave the house. So.
$35 bowl of soup. No, that's just a fact. So
That's more than you would pay for a French onion soup at like a 5-star restaurant.
100%. Yes. 35. Just literally all you got was the bowl.
Yep, that's it. With bread, that's it.
$35.
Yep.
All right.
And the bread comes free with the... It was $30-something. I'll have to look it up.
That's funny. Let's see. Rent in Florida is sky high in the Orlando area.
Orlando area is booming.
Yeah, it really is.
Ton of companies are moving there. That I-4 corridor, they're trying to make it like a tech sector.
We had so many traders. Okay. Keep going. New messages. It's true. Sometimes you just want a bowl of soup. I think that's what I want for lunch today because it's kind of cold again. 60 degrees, 65 degrees. It's freezing. All right. Any more questions before we leave? XRP is... All right, where's XRP real quick?
52?
Somebody asked, where do you buy XRP?
My goodness. Uphold.
Uphold. I think we answer that all the time. This week, we're actually going to be recording some of those videos that we talked about last week. So we'll keep you up to date when they're ready. These things take time,
Yeah.
don't they? Right. Listen, I
Who
own an
do you
LLC.
like to use for stock transactions? Somebody told me about Weeple. I like to use
Hate Weeble. Weeble is
Robinhood.
really tough to navigate.
And then
Not very user friendly.
I use Schwab and I use TD Ameritrade.
Cool. Say that again, because I interrupted you.
Robinhood.
Yep.
Robinhood I use just for like playing around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use Schwab and TD Ameritrade.
There you go. I own an LLC. How much should I sell it for?
That depends on what you think it's worth.
It's such a
Do some valuation.
question. Yeah.
I would say, I don't know,
Nick's-
$47 billion.
Nick says 7. Atomic Wallet is a place you can buy XRP. All right, I think that's it. Weeble is trash. Qcoin. Qcoin, you can get XRP too?
Mm-hmm.
We should compare those two. That should be another video that we do. Is just comparing the process from like Coinbase, Qcoin, and all that kind of stuff, just to see like which is the easier
Yeah.
platform to use.
I think Coinbase is pretty simple. But they have some of the highest fees.
Really? You're welcome. When will XRP be allowed back on U.S. exchanges?
As soon as they settle their suit,
Where are we in that suit, Doug?
if he's still watching.
Doug, in the Cape, watching from Cape Cod. Where are we
He's
on
not
that?
on a
suit?
beach somewhere.
We don't know where they're at the. I mean, those litigation just takes time.
Yeah.
Takes a long time.
If they don't settle it, they'll move to Singapore or something like that. I heard the other day. Somebody said
Wow.
move their corporate offices to Singapore. Which Singapore seems to be the hopping place.
They won the
What do you
second
think
case.
about Gibraltar Industries Rock? Let's take a look. I'll take a look at that.
Coinbase Pro has lower fees, supposedly. And it works the same. Coinbase Pro.
They won the SEC case.
They won? What do you think about Gibraltar? Discovery was extended 60 days. What does that mean? Discovery was extended 60 days?
I'm not sure. I'm taking a look at it right
What do you mean, Michael? All right, listen. If you haven't partnered with Revival today, now is your chance. Thoughts on FCEL? Jot that down, students. I don't know what that is. Here's your chance to get your amazing Check the Market mug
Fuel cell energy.
for your donation of any size. There she is. Look at that, huh? What a good looking mug. Here are the ways that you can give. If you're watching on Facebook, it's hashtag donate. Text RT to 50155. If you want to use Cash App or Venmo, it's $ RT Give or RT Give on Venmo. PayPal is revivaltoday.com/PayPal. If you'd like to donate your crypto that's tanking today, you can do that. You can do so. Scan the code or go to revivaltoday.com/give. Mail a check to Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, PA, 15329. And of course, don't forget, if you want that lovely mug, don't forget to claim it. revivaltoday.com/offer. If this is all too complex for you, we'd love to walk you through it. Just give us a call, 412-446-2332. Again, that's 412-446-2332. I heard from a source yesterday that more than 90% of crypto will not be in existence in 3 to 5 years. Do you agree?
I agree. A lot of those, like, Safe Moon and all those cryptos, they might not be in existence, or they'll be in existence, but they'll just be at 0.0000000 something.
3 to 5 years, Safe Moon is gone. There's like certain coins. I mean, there's tons of coins.
There's tons.
So that's safe to say that 90% of them will not be in existence because
Yeah.
there's so many. There's so many like ratchet ones too. Poop coin. Have you
there?
seen that?
No.
There's poop coin. Go figure. These people are so trashy.
Yeah.
Patrick.
For real.
Can I use Canada dough to give? Ha ha ha.
If by Canada you mean... Oh, it's a novelty coin. Okay. I was going to say if it's Canadian dollars, then absolutely.
It's a South Park joke. Sorry, we don't watch South Park.
Haven't seen that episode.
All right. That is it for tonight's show, or this morning's show. Here, the next show is going to be at 11 a.m., and that's going to be with Evangelist Dallas or Jonathan on our daily Revival Today live broadcast, 11 a.m. Followed by, that's going to be a rerun, just flat out. Then at 4 p.m., it's going to be live with Maddie. She's going to have an awesome show. Yesterday, she talked about why do I have an eating disorder? So she's hitting some literal, like some hard topics. And so she's my girl. And then, of course, check the news nightly at 11 p.m. So thanks for watching. And we will see you tomorrow morning at the exact same time, 9:20 a.m. See ya.
See ya, everybody.